Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna have a repot and chill. I want to show you a few orchids that I received from two lovely viewers, and also I want to tell you the weirdest, most, well, it's not funny, but let's just call it funniest story that we've been through this past few weeks that has nothing to do with orchids, but it's just so mind-boggling that I just have to share. So before we start, let me just remind you that this is a repot and chill. It is not a tutorial. I'm not explaining to you how to care for your orchids. There is no purpose to this video other than me speaking whatever crosses my mind, because that's what I feel like when I repot orchids. Taking a break from the usual tutorials, so if you're not into that, that's fine. I'll see you next time. And now that is just us. Yeah, sorry, I do need to do these disclaimers because I always post tutorials. People expect tutorials, and whenever it's not a tutorial, all heck breaks loose pretty much in the comments. So with that said, let me just show you a few orchids that I just received from Nadia and Veronica, two of my oldest viewers and two very, very lovely people who just sent me a whole bunch of orchids, which, you know what, I'm so thankful for, because I'm not in a position to really buy a lot of orchids nowadays. So Veronica, thank you so much. These are wonderful. And I need to repot them because many of them are bare rooted. And these are coming from Nadia, and they're not only orchids, I have some Hoyas as well. I have some Hoya Bellas, which between you and me, I searched everywhere. I want to have a Bella again. I loved it. The one that I had was the easiest thing to grow, but I also have a few other types. This is a Linearis, this one. This one I'm trying to rebounce this stem, but I don't think it made it through transport, but this one did. I saw pictures of this and I didn't like it, but seeing it in person and seeing how fluffy it actually is, I really like it. And I have a few stems in the back that I think I'm gonna put in a sort of ICU because they need a lot more moisture to produce some roots. This is a Compacta. And I do think that Compacta has a reputation of being a little finicky, so I might have to do that. Maybe that's for a different video, but for now, I cut the bottom of the stems so they can absorb water and they hydrate it. I put them in water for now. Some of them will root. I was hoping all of them, but I think with some I need to go the extra mile and do the ICU. Let me just show you real fast what I'm talking about. I lied. I promise this video is not informative, but behold it is. Well, you never know what you're gonna get when watching my videos, right? So this is an ICU, right? It's a chamber that I keep very high humidity and a bed of sphagnum moss, and I root stuff. And Hoya cuttings are very easy to root in things like these. This is a Ferrero Rocher box. And here we have a Cattleya, which I think I will need to reroot. I think the roots didn't make the transport, but it's okay. Cattleyas can reroot really readily. This is Lelia lobata Brazil. And this is a good one. This is a Parishi, Dendrobium Parishi alba. I have the normal Parishi, which is pink, and I really like it, and I was thinking, oh, how cool it would be to have the alba as well. But I always postponed purchasing it. It wasn't necessarily the right timing, so this is absolutely awesome. This, I'm sure you're gonna ask, is a Doritos Pulcherrima variety Marmorata. I have one, it's a baby, I purchased it, but with these guys, I feel like you don't know exactly how they're gonna look like. There is quite a bit of variety within this variety. This is a Sogo Vivian, which is variegated, and what I like about it is that it's not heavily variegated, which is great. I don't think I like heavy variegation. I like just a few specks. Some of these are no IDs, and these two are no IDs, and this one is Mitro King Grape, which has a little flower spike. So what I need to do is pot them up, these guys, which are bare rooted. This one, I might leave it as it is. It's a little big, this pot, so it's taking up a little too much space. We're gonna see, maybe we're gonna repot this one as well, but she's not really a priority right now. These guys are. So a little tip, when you don't have time to repot your orchids, what you can do is sit them in a decorative container, a glass, a jar, whatever you have at hand, soak them 10-15 minutes, then you can leave them be like this, and then soak them again either twice a day, either once a day. And that's how you are gonna keep them hydrated and in good condition until you get to repot them. Phalaenopsis, and also these guys are epiphytic orchids, so they don't need to sit in anything pretty much. As long as they get water somehow and adequately, meaning frequently enough, they're okay. Right. let's get on with the story that I told you guys about. And I'm just gonna start to pot some of these guys. Not gonna have time to pot all of them on video, but anyway, we'll see how many we do until I finish the story, which I hope you're gonna find entertaining because it sounds like it's not real. It will sound like I'm making it up, but I promise you, I am not. Sadly. Sadly, I'm not. Alrighty, let's start with this one. Actually, Veronica did make some descriptions, even if these are no ID. I kind of know how they look like. This one should be cream with some dots everywhere, brick orange lip, and it resembles slightly the mini mark. I am intrigued. This one had a few bottom leaves fall on transport. It spent about 2 weeks on transport, so that's pretty okay. We're gonna see if I need to cut any roots, which I do, but I also have growing root tips, which is great. So let's just start with the story. Recently, we have been involved in a small renovation project. So we had to purchase some construction materials. Amongst these materials is the material this whole story revolves around. These are some floor tiles. So a few weeks ago, we go to this store that has these types of materials to pick the materials we wanted and we needed. And for the floor, we picked some tiles that we liked most. It was a wood kind of like type of tile. So we put it on the list. We had the invoice kind of ready, which this process took us about an hour and a half, to decide, to consider, to check back with the people involved, blah, blah, blah. It took us about an hour and a half to decide what we're gonna get. So after we decided and we put everything on the list, when we went to pay, surprise, surprise, the floor tiles were out of stock, which was a little bit bizarre because when we checked availability at the place, at like the showroom, they were in stock, but when we went to actually get it and pay for it, they were out of stock. So we thought, well, what are the odds that within this an hour and a half, or less actually than an hour and a half, within this hour, somebody came and picked up some boxes that they don't have enough stock to fulfill our order? Well, I guess stranger things have happened, so we kind of brushed it off and we kind of went back to the showroom and picked another tile. So the tile that we picked was this gray one, really pretty one. They checked availability, they had enough stock. We went with the pre-invoice thing to pay it off and we paid it off. Everything was okay. Everything that we wanted was in stock. And they assured us that within a week or so, we should have it at the location because we also paid for transport. They were also offering transport of these materials. So that was great. We were very, very happy that we managed to solve the situation and everything we wanted within 2 hours, right? And then we went home and waited and waited. And we also still waited for these materials to arrive at the location. And wouldn't you know it, after a week, they still weren't there. At this point, we started to call the store and inquire about these materials. And we were assured that they will eventually get sent. But something felt a bit off, so we insisted with the phone calls and insisted. And well, after 2 weeks, my fiance gets an answer, finally. They said, well, you can actually go pick up the materials because guess what? They have not been delivered to the transport service. They're still in that store. You can go and actually get them yourselves if you so desire. And being that we were on a time frame which was approaching, the deadline was approaching, we thought, well, I think it's a good idea for us to go pick them up somehow, just so we're sure that we finish the project in time before the deadline. So we thought, well, okay, we're just gonna go and pick them up. If they're there in the store, it's okay. We're gonna go pick them up. So seemingly everything was pretty okay up until that point. 10 minutes later, after my fiance has this conversation with the store, apparently they call back and they say, bad news, one of the materials is not in stock anymore. Which material? The floor tiles, obviously. Oh no, what do you mean they're not in stock? We purchased them. Yeah, they're not in stock. But we paid for them like 2 weeks ago and they were supposed to be delivered. Yeah, they're not in stock. So my fiance calls me and says, you know what? we need to get down there because they're not in stock. So cancel everything, we need to get there. So that's what we did. We both canceled all of the other things we had for that day to get to the store. And trust me, it wasn't like a day where I wasn't doing anything. I had stuff. I canceled people. I canceled a lot of stuff. It's like, okay, let's go back to the store and figure this out. Now, if the story is a little disconcerting up until now, wait till you hear what happened next. And this was in the afternoon, right? So we go to the store, we go to the showroom, let's say, and we talk to somebody there. We actually talk to a manager and explain to them the situation that we ordered this material 2 weeks ago. It was supposed to be delivered through a company to the location. It's not in stock, apparently. Now, the manager there said, you know what? I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. I'm sure that whoever you talked to said that we don't have it in store anymore because they didn't consider your order already. So in the system, maybe because you ordered it, it became unavailable. So maybe it's just a misunderstanding with the software, which, yeah, sounds plausible, but it's a bit of a rookie mistake, isn't it? You should know, you sell these materials, right? You should know if the system can error like that, right? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's a new employee. Who knows? Who knows? So the assistant makes some phone calls, talks to some other departments, and after which they tell us that, you know what? Everything is okay. The order was actually sent today. It was delivered to the transport company and it will be delivered to the location. It was sent today. Brilliant. When will it arrive to the location? Within 6 to 7 days. We don't have 6 to 7 days. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? So we say, okay, you know what? Just give us the tracking number and we're going to contact the delivery service somehow and get the materials from them ourselves because we need the materials fast. We had deadlines, we had other expenses that were piling up the more we waited, so we kind of need the materials now. Oh, alrighty then. So they make a few more calls and they send us to another part of the store that will give us more details about the tracking number, the order, and, you know, how to get the materials. So they send us there, we go there, we talk to the person in charge of this section. They as well make a few phone calls, and you're not ready for this. Guess what they tell us? Actually, the order has not been sent. It is still in the store. Go to this section and you can pick it up. Brilliant! This is actually working out great. Never mind the fact that communication within this store is, you know, it's not the best, is it? It doesn't matter. This actually works out great for us. We can just pick them up right now, which is what we wanted. So we go to that section of the store that has the stocks. Mind you, everything up until now lasted for about an hour or more. So an hour, we just talked to these people that tried to figure out what happened to our order, right? And that took a while. So we go to this section of the store to pick up our materials. We go to the people there, we show them our invoice, and they start to gather the materials. And they gather this thing, the other thing. Some of the stuff already had a label with our order number, so yeah, they were in the process of getting ready, but obviously they were not sent. They were our stuff. It wasn't like stock that was just left and we were getting something that we didn't order. It was for us. It was our order. It had a sticker on it. So slowly and surely, within another hour or an hour and a half, the people there start to bring us our material. And after about an hour and a half, we get the shocking news that, hey, you know what? One of the materials that you have here on your invoice is not in stock. It does not exist. Sorry, we don't have it. You mean you don't have it? No, we don't have it. Let's go back to the person in the showroom that we talked to that assured us that the order already left. And they also told us, go home, you will get contacted. But let's go back to that person and talk with them real fast, shall we? Let's shall. So we went there after another hour and a half. We went there to this person. I'm laughing because I know the end of the story, which you will not even anticipate. Don't try to guess what happens in the end, because it's not what you think. So we go to this person and we tell them, hey, guess what? We were at that section of the store you sent us, and they told us there that the order is still here, and we went to check it, and yeah, this thing is not in stock. Just like the person on the phone we talked to that said, hey, it's not in stock, we checked. Now this person was like, no, impossible. I told you that it left, which means it left because I got information from that department that the order was sent. Yeah, you might want to talk to some people because it definitely did not get sent. After like 15 minutes of trying to tell this person the problem, which already seems kind of convoluted, and the fact that no, the order is here, it is definitely our order because it has a sticker on it, and no, the thing is not in stock, it's not like you have been informed. After 15 minutes, I think we all lost patience, and they were insisting that we need to go home and wait for a phone call. I kind of lost it, and I said, we do not have time to wait anymore. This is our problem. There's no more time for us. It's done. 2 weeks, it's done. We cannot leave the store without stuff right now. We don't have time. They're like, okay, what do you want? The tracking number. If you keep insisting that the order is actually not ours and there's a problem with the software and actually our order is somewhere else with this transport service, give us the tracking number. So they make some more phone calls, and actually we get the manager that takes care of stocks, something like that. And this person was a very nice person. It's the person that we actually managed to solve the issue with. So this person was very, very polite and very happy to assist us. By the end of this, they weren't so happy about it anymore, but they came and asked us what the problem was. We told them the problem. They made some phone calls as well. This took another hour. And in the end of it all, yes, the order wasn't sent. Yes, that downstairs was our order. And yes, the freaking floor tiles were not in stock. They were gone. Something happened to the stock. They were not in stock anymore. What are we gonna do? We need to pick other stuff. Here's the catch. The floor tiles we picked, not only did we like, but they were also a very, very good price for us. And if we were to change them to something else which we liked, we would have most definitely had to pay more, quite a lot more. So at some point, after so many hours in the store, again, I think I started to break down, and I told this person, listen, I cannot waste any more time and any more money and fix this by paying you more for something I didn't want in the first place. What I need is to have the materials, whatever materials that I can choose right now, in the time frame that I still have at the same price. I cannot overspend anymore on this because of a mistake you did. They're like, yes, I understand you completely. We're gonna see how we can solve this. Pick something else that you like and let's see how we can solve the price. Maybe we can make some discounts, I don't know. So we managed to find another material that looked similar, just a little bit of a different coloration. And this person was very lovely to us, and we managed to make a discount on that so that we still remain within our budget, because at some point it was jumping out of the budget, like pretty severely. And in the end, we managed to purchase this other material that we didn't like as much, but it was okay. You know what? Let's not be so picky anymore. Let's get it. We get a good deal on it. Okay, we're gonna be in the time frame. Let's do this. Let's finalize the order. So we fixed it. We finalized the order. It was already it was nighttime actually at this point. We go to the stocks, we load whatever we can, and we arrange for the next day to load whatever is left, because there was a lot of materials for one car, right? So the next day we settled that we are going to pick up this material that we replaced. It was going to be picked up either by us, either by somebody else. Somebody will pick it up the next day because it was dark. The employees needed to go home. We were hungry, we were tired and exhausted. We spent so much time in the heat in 40 degrees Celsius, you have no idea. So in the end, we fixed it. We were happy, although a little doubtful still, because we were joking. What if we find out tomorrow that, guess what, it's it's out of stock. I mean, we were seriously considering this. Like considering, okay, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna go to a different shop, I don't know. But anyway, we went home with whatever we could, and the plan was to go back tomorrow and get the other stuff. And before I get into the tomorrow story, this one is finished. Ta-da, there we go. I'm gonna write a date here so I don't forget. So let me get another orchid before I start the story again. Alrighty, so tomorrow rolls around and we actually didn't have time to go in person to get the stuff, but we had a different person go, a person we knew, so they went to pick up the materials. Well, long story short, the person came back without the materials because they weren't ready just yet. Were they in stock? Yes, but they weren't ready. Oh boy, and this is a little bit mind-wrecking, isn't it? Okay, let's wait for the next day when supposedly it should have been ready. So another day rolls by and my fiancé calls and they assure him the stuff are ready. Okay, let's try this again. So this person that we know goes back and guess what? Comes back with the thing. But the thing is, they left it at the location, not where we were. So we didn't get to visually see it, but the stuff was there. Awesome. And this was again around the evening time. It was a little late. We didn't go to the location ourselves, but the stuff were there 100%. They were picked up and unloaded there righty then. So the next day in the morning, early morning, we go to the location to see the materials. And when we get to the location, boy oh boy, shocked we were to see that the materials were there, but they were not the materials we chose. It was a different floor tile. We had two options, maybe more, but at the time we had two options. Go back to the store and rain our rage upon the store and go through this all over again, or two, settle with what we have because it doesn't look that bad. It certainly is not the color scheme we were going for, but hey, it's floor tiles. They exist at the location, which apparently it's something very hard to achieve. What do we do? What do you think we did? We settled, you guys. We settled with what we got because they weren't that bad, so we can make it work. And honestly, I don't know how much these particular ones cost just because we don't remember seeing them at the store. And also, the prospect of going through all of this all over again certainly did not sound very, very appealing. So we decided that we're just gonna let it be. We didn't even tell the store that they made yet another mistake. And you know what? This pot is not big enough for this orchid, so I'm gonna need a bigger pot. Alrighty, definitely this pot is much better. So in the end, what we did was to calculate if these new materials are enough for the project that we had, and apparently they are. I think we might have to purchase like a spare box or something of the sorts, which fingers crossed we're gonna find in stock because you never know. But honestly, I'm not sure if the story is over just yet, but I'm hopeful that it is over because I never thought this could happen. So maybe some of you who went through construction projects, maybe you can relate. I did hear from other people all sorts of stories when they had to construct something or renovate something. I don't recall ever hearing something as ridiculous as this, although I heard a lot of mistakes being made, but this, I have never heard about anything like this. So now looking back, you know, it's a story to tell on because it's kind of funny in a way. At the time, it certainly was not very funny. But now looking back, you know, it is what it is. It happened. So if you guys have any stories of the sorts, let me know in the comments section. Vent it out. Oh my goodness. This isn't normal, right? It's not normal to go through so much trouble to get a material, but things happen. We're human and mistakes happen. But so many mistakes, one after the other, it's ridiculous, isn't it? So in the end, we're left with a material that we didn't want, we didn't even see ever. It was like, surprise, this is how it's gonna look like. Luckily for us and for them, it's not a bad looking one. Hopefully the quality is nice as well, but like, you know, how bad can it be, I guess. And yeah, that's what we went through over the past weeks. Well, one of the things. So if you were wondering what's up with my schedule, well, this is one of the things that was up with the upload schedule this week. So yeah, as we can see from one blab to another, I managed to repot 2 orchids. If you're interested in the materials that I use, not the construction materials, the things that I use when I repot, I do list down below. If you scroll all the way down in the description, I list the slow release fertilizer, the sphagnum moss that I use, the bark chips, all of those things. If you're interested, they're always in the description, together with some actual beginner tutorials. So if you're into that, just check the description out. But for today, we are pretty much done, and I will do my best to make them flourish. I have a great place for these orchids already. It's my Detolf? Yeah, it's the Detolf shelf, which, if you guys remember, it had that pretty lousy light, which was not really a grow light. It was just a bunch of LEDs, more on the yellow side. Well, Veronica came out with short grow light tubes. They're 30 centimeters. How awesome is that? So I think I will go ahead and place an order at some point because it's a good investment. Grow lights, these grow lights that I use are a good investment to me. So the Detolf has never excelled in growing anything too much because of the light that I used, how I positioned it. I will try to link you down below a video on the Detolf if you don't know what I'm talking about. So these orchids will sit on the Detolf, which is mainly empty at this point because it doesn't have good light, but soon it will have good light and these orchids will sit there protected from the pests. And with that said, I think it is time to end this video. Thank you guys so much for hanging around, hearing me blab, hearing the story that had nothing to do with orchids, but oh boy, what a story, am I right? Let me know if you can relate and what stuff you guys went through. Alrighty, so with that said, hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today and I hope you have a great day further on. If you're interested in other plants or aquariums or things like that, just check my second channel because that's the type of stuff I post there. But most importantly, subscribe to this channel because this is where you'll find orchid stuff, maybe more varied type of videos in the future as well. I'm experimenting. Also, still please bear with me with the upload schedule. It's still kind of hectic. I'm doing my best, but yeah, it's gonna be hectic for a little while. We will settle down at some point to another schedule, but I don't think it's gonna happen very soon. So bear with me. But yeah, I really appreciated being here watching this video. So that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!